What if I told you that right there in your own kitchen, there's a poison you probably consume every day thinking it's harmless, something that, drop by drop, day after day, is silently destroying your prostate without you even realizing it? I'm Dr. Jane, a urologist, and for 18 years I've been seeing the devastating consequences of this poison on my patients' prostates, especially in men who come to me when unfortunately the damage is already severe. Waking up 4-5 times a night, flow so weak it takes minutes to empty, that constant pressure, that feeling of never being fully empty. Today I'm going to break the silence, but I won't speak in medical jargon that nobody understands. I'm going to speak plainly, as if you were sitting right here in front of me. I'm going to reveal the worst poison that is quietly attacking your prostate without you even realizing it. And the most alarming part, you most likely consumed it this very morning. Stay with me to discover it, to understand its destructive power, and most importantly, to learn how to protect yourself before it's too late. Welcome, and thank you for taking a few minutes for the most valuable thing we have, our health. As a prostate specialist, my mission isn't just to treat illness, it's to prevent it. And believe me, one of the hardest things about my job is seeing wonderful, vibrant men suffer from prostate damage that could have been avoided. The problem with the prostate is that it's a master of silence. It's the unsung hero working 24/7 without rest. Imagine having a walnut-sized gland sitting right below your bladder, wrapping around your urethra, controlling your urinary flow, contributing to sexual function, working perfectly for decades without a single complaint. That's your prostate. But what happens when this system starts to fail? There's no alarm, no sharp pain warning you. Prostate inflammation, enlargement, chronic damage, it's a thief. It creeps in slowly over years, and by the time clear symptoms appear, waking up multiple times a night, weak flow, that nagging feeling of incomplete emptying, the damage can be severe, sometimes irreversible. I've seen so many men arrive at my office scared, confused, facing catheters, surgery, or medications with brutal side effects. And the question that always lingers is, "Doctor, how didn't I notice?" The answer is painful, because no one warned them clearly enough about the everyday poisons quietly sabotaging their prostate health. That's why I'm here to give you the power of information. Today, I want to give you that power. We're going to unmask several of these hidden enemies. I've listed them from the most common to what I consider the worst of all. So stay with me. What you're about to learn could literally change the course of your life. Before we start the list, it's crucial to understand why, as we age, we become more vulnerable to these poisons. Age simply changes the rules of the game. Just as we lose some vision or get gray hairs, the prostate also ages. Its cells become more sensitive to hormonal changes, particularly DHT, that aggressive form of testosterone that makes prostate cells multiply uncontrollably. Inflammation becomes chronic and low-grade, like a fire that never fully goes out, and the tissue loses its ability to repair itself efficiently. Think of it like the engine of a high-mileage car. It still runs, of course, but it no longer has the resilience it did when it was new. Now imagine giving that veteran engine poor-quality fuel and forcing it to work under constant stress every day. What do you think will happen? Exactly. It will break down far sooner. That's exactly what many of us unknowingly do to our prostates over 50, 60, or 70 years. We expose them to things that in our youth seemed harmless, but leave tiny scars that accumulate. It's this cumulative effect that can eventually lead to severe prostate enlargement, chronic inflammation, and all the misery that comes with it. Moreover, with age, it's easier for insulin resistance and hormonal imbalance to appear. And I want to be very clear here. These two conditions create the perfect environment for prostate destruction. They're like hammers, striking the delicate structure of your prostate without pause. That's why anything that contributes to inflammation, hormonal imbalance, or insulin resistance is a direct attack on your prostate health. Today, we're going to put names and faces to these attackers. To make it clear, I've prepared a list of 4 of these poisons. We'll start with one that you neither eat nor drink, yet is equally harmful. And from there, we'll move to number 1, the one that is, without a doubt, the most dangerous, addictive, and widespread of them all. The real wolf in sheep's clothing. Let's begin. Poison number 4. Sedentary behavior, stagnant water that suffocates your prostate. The first poison on our list, number 4, might surprise you because it's not something you eat or drink. It's something you don't do. I'm talking about being sedentary, the lack of movement, spending hours and hours sitting, whether it's watching TV, at a desk, or in front of a screen. You might ask, but doctor, what does sitting have to do with my prostate? The answer is everything. Your prostate sits at the base of your pelvis. When you sit for prolonged periods, especially after age 60, several devastating things happen simultaneously. First, direct pressure. The prostate gets compressed between your body weight and the chair. It's like sitting on a sponge for hours. The sponge gets squeezed, circulation gets cut off, and inflammation builds up. Second, stagnant circulation. Your prostate relies on strong, healthy blood flow to clear out inflammatory metabolites, cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. Imagine a powerful flowing river. The water rushes with force, carrying everything along and staying clean. Now imagine a stagnant puddle. Mud accumulates, everything rots, and the water becomes toxic. Your pelvic circulation is that river. When you move, when you walk, blood flows vigorously through your entire pelvis, giving your prostate the oxygen and nutrients it needs and removing the toxic waste. But when you sit for hours, everything slows down. The blood flow becomes lazy, like water in a puddle. And this is the perfect gateway for the worst enemies of your prostate: chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and tissue damage. Studies show that men who sit more than 6 hours a day without interruption have significantly higher rates of prostate enlargement and urinary symptoms compared to men who move regularly. The solution? Movement. Don't panic. You don't have to become an Olympic athlete tomorrow. The solution is much simpler and within everyone's reach. Break long periods of sitting. If you spend a lot of time seated, the first step is just to stand up. Set an alarm on your phone every 60 to 90 minutes to remind you. Get up, walk around the house, grab a glass of water, stretch your hips. That simple act already reactivates pelvic circulation. The next step is incorporating a daily walk. It doesn't have to be a marathon. Start with 15 minutes around the block, then 20 minutes next week. The key is consistency, not intensity. Walking is one of the best exercises for prostate health. It improves circulation, reduces systemic inflammation, helps regulate hormones, and keeps your weight in check. If you have mobility issues, there are fantastic chair exercises you can do. Pelvic tilts, leg lifts, hip rotations, every little bit helps. The motto is, any movement is better than no movement. Remember the river analogy. Every step you take is a wave of clean, oxygenated blood for your prostate. Poison number 3, the deception of harmless painkillers. Now we come to poison number 3. This one hides in plain sight in nearly every home medicine cabinet. It's that pill you take without thinking for a headache, back pain, or arthritis. I'm talking about non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or NSAIDs. Names like ibuprofen, naproxen, or diclofenac are familiar to all of us. Millions of men use them thinking that because they're over the counter, they're harmless. And there lies the great deception. While these drugs are very effective for pain, chronic, frequent use or high doses can be devastating for the prostate especially in men over 60. Here's a simple explanation. NSAIDs work by blocking an enzyme called COX, which produces prostaglandins, the chemicals that cause pain and inflammation. Sounds good, right? Block inflammation, reduce pain. But here's the problem. Prostaglandins don't just cause pain, they also protect your body. Specifically, certain prostaglandins help maintain healthy blood flow to organs, regulate immune response, and protect tissue from oxidative damage. When you chronically block all prostaglandins with NSAIDs, you're also blocking the ones that protect your prostate. The result? Increased oxidative stress in prostate tissue, reduced ability to clear inflammatory metabolites, and paradoxically, more chronic inflammation over time. It's like trying to put out a fire by cutting off the water supply to the sprinkler system. Studies have shown that chronic NSAID use is associated with increased prostate inflammation markers and worsening urinary symptoms in older men. The real danger is the silent damage. Taking these pills every day for chronic pain, like arthritis or back pain, creates a slow, cumulative assault on prostate tissue. It's a process that gives no symptoms until it's too late. The solution? Respect both pain and the pill. So what do? Ignore the pain? Of course not. Quality of life comes first. The solution is to be smart and, above all, talk to a professional. First and foremost, never self-medicate with NSAIDs chronically. If pain lasts more than a few days, the solution isn't to keep taking pills. It's to see a doctor and find out why. The goal isn't to silence the alarm, it's to locate the fire. Second, be honest with your doctor about everything you take, including vitamins, herbal remedies, and over-the-counter medications. Many cold or allergy remedies contain NSAIDs hidden inside. Third, there are alternatives for occasional pain. Acetaminophen is usually safer when taken in correct doses. Explore non-pill options as well. Physical therapy, heat, cold, stretching, or acupuncture can work wonders and reduce your reliance on painkillers. The golden rule: NSAIDs are powerful medications. Using them occasionally is fine. But depending on them daily without medical supervision is like playing Russian roulette with your prostate. Poison number 2, processed meats, the invisible enemy on your plate. Now we move on to poison number 2, which is perhaps the most underestimated of all. It's in nearly every breakfast table, every sandwich, every quick meal. I'm talking about processed meats, deli meats, bacon, sausages, hot dogs, salami, ham. Many men tell me, "But doctor, I need protein. These are convenient." That's the big misunderstanding. The problem isn't the protein. It's the toxic compounds used to process, preserve, and color these meats. Processed meats are loaded with nitrates and nitrites, chemicals used to prevent bacterial growth and keep the meat looking pink and fresh. When you eat them, especially when they're cooked at high heat, these compounds convert into nitrosamines, potent carcinogens, and inflammatory agents. Studies have shown a clear link between regular processed meat consumption and increased prostate inflammation, higher PSA levels, and greater risk of benign prostatic hyperplasia progression. It's estimated that over 60% of the inflammatory load in the average American diet comes not from the salt shaker, but from packaged processed foods, especially processed meats. The industry uses these chemicals to make products last longer on shelves and look appealing. It's an invisible aggressor hiding in plain sight. Why is it so harmful? When nitrosamines enter your bloodstream, they trigger a cascade of inflammation throughout your body, including your prostate. This chronic, low-grade inflammation is like pouring gasoline on a smoldering fire. It feeds the growth of prostate cells, increases DHT sensitivity, and accelerates tissue damage. Moreover, processed meats are often high in saturated fats and lack fiber, creating the perfect storm for hormonal imbalance and insulin resistance. both of which directly worsen prostate health. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed over 2,900 men for 7 years. Those who consumed processed meats 5 or more times per week had 47% higher risk of moderate to severe urinary symptoms compared to those who consumed them less than once a week. The solution: become a label detective and choose real food. Protecting yourself from this poison requires a mindset shift. It's not about giving up flavor or convenience, it's about choosing smarter. The most powerful tool you have is learning to read labels. If you see sodium nitrite, sodium nitrate, or any ingredient you can't pronounce, put it back. Second strategy: cook more at home where you have complete control. Instead of deli turkey, roast a whole turkey breast yourself. Instead of bacon, try turkey sausage made from real ingredients, or even better, skip the processed option entirely. Third, rediscover real protein sources. Nature has given us an arsenal of options: fresh chicken, fish, eggs, legumes, nuts. These foods provide protein without the toxic load. One last trick: if you occasionally buy processed meats, choose uncured versions labeled no nitrates or nitrites added, though even these should be occasional, not daily. Within weeks of cutting out processed meats, many of my patients report noticeably improved urinary flow and fewer nighttime trips. It's one of the fastest changes you can make. Before we get to poison number 1, and trust me, it's the most devastating of all, I want you to do something for me. If you're watching this and you recognize at least one of these poisons in your daily routine, leave a like on this video right now. And in the comments, tell me, which one surprised you the most? Now, let me be honest with you the same way I am with every patient who sits across from me. These 3 poisons we've covered, sedentary behavior, NSAIDs, processed meats, are serious. They create inflammation, hormonal chaos, and tissue damage. But here's what I've learned after 18 years treating men over 60. Cutting out the poisons is only half the battle. The prostate needs active repair support, and after decades of exposure to these toxins, most men need more than just clean eating to reverse the damage. Your prostate is begging for specific compounds that block DHT conversion, calm chronic inflammation, and protect cells from oxidative stress. And you simply cannot get therapeutic doses of these through food alone, even if you eat perfectly. I've left a link in the description to a natural formula I recommend to patients who are serious about prostate recovery. It brings together over 20 ingredients that target the exact pathways we've been discussing. Saw palmetto at the dose that actually blocks 5-alpha reductase, pygium that shuts down the inflammatory cascade, antioxidants like green tea extract that protect prostate cells from the sugar damage we're about to talk about. No prescription required. And here's what matters most to me as a physician: every order is backed by a full 180-day money-back guarantee. That's 6 months. If you don't feel a difference, stronger flow, fewer nighttime trips, less urgency, you get every penny back. If you've been suffering with this for 2 years, 5 years, a decade, and you're finally ready to do something real about it, that link is waiting for you in the description. It takes 1 minute, and the only thing you risk is another 6 months of broken sleep and constant bathroom trips. Now let's get to poison number 1, and I promise you, this one will change how you see food forever. The worst poison: sugar and refined flour, the deadly sweet duo. And now we come to the final one. We've talked about sedentary behavior, painkillers, and processed meats, all formidable enemies. But now I present to you what I consider poison number 1, the undisputed champion of silent destruction, the most addictive, the most present in our diet, and the one that causes the most devastating damage to your prostate. This poison isn't some rare chemical. It's something we associate with comfort, energy, and reward. I'm talking about sugar and its inseparable partner, refined flour. Yes, that sweet white powder, the sodas, cookies, and also white bread, pasta, and pastries. In my experience, this duo is the main reason why so many men over 60 end up with severely enlarged prostates, chronic inflammation, and nighttime bathroom trips that destroy their quality of life. It's a pattern I unfortunately see repeated over and over in my practice. Why am I so blunt about this? Because sugar and refined flour, which your body almost instantly converts to sugar, don't just launch a single attack. They launch a massive coordinated assault from multiple fronts. Attack front 1, the insulin-DHT highway. When you eat sugar or refined carbohydrates, they trigger a tsunami of glucose in your blood. Your pancreas goes into overdrive, releasing insulin to control it. If this happens every day, which it does for most men, insulin levels stay chronically elevated. Here's what that does to your prostate. Elevated insulin directly increases production of IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor. IGF-1 is like Miracle-Gro for prostate cells. It stimulates them to multiply, grow, and enlarge. This is exactly what you don't want. But it gets worse. Chronic insulin elevation also increases the activity of an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase. This is the enzyme that converts testosterone into DHT, dihydrotestosterone, the most aggressive androgen that makes your prostate swell. So every time you eat sugar or white bread, you're literally feeding the biological pathway that enlarges your prostate. A 2020 study in prostate cancer and prostatic diseases analyzed nearly 3,000 men. Those with insulin spikes above 90 UU/mL after meals had 61% higher risk of moderate to severe urinary symptoms and significantly larger prostate volumes on ultrasound. Attack front 2, chronic inflammation. Sugar is fire for your body. It causes low-grade chronic inflammation that damages the interior of all your cells, including prostate tissue. This inflammation activates the same cytokines we talked about earlier, IL-6, TNF-alpha, C-reactive protein. These inflammatory molecules create a hostile environment where prostate cells can't function properly, tissue gets damaged, and the prostate swells as a protective response. Attack front 3, obesity and hormonal chaos. Excess sugar that isn't burned immediately gets converted to fat. This fat doesn't just sit there passively. Fat tissue is metabolically active. It produces estrogen. In men, elevated estrogen combined with declining testosterone creates the perfect hormonal storm for prostate enlargement. Moreover, obesity increases insulin resistance, creating a vicious cycle. More insulin resistance means more insulin, which means more IGF-1 and more DHT. It's a downward spiral. Attack front 4, oxidative stress and cellular damage. High blood sugar generates reactive oxygen species, free radicals that damage DNA, proteins, and cellular membranes in your prostate. Over time, this oxidative damage accumulates, leading to chronic tissue dysfunction and accelerated aging of the prostate. As you can see, it's a total assault from every direction, which is why I call it poison number 1. The solution? Take back control. The good news is we can fight back against this enemy. Knowledge is power. First, understand that sugar goes by many names: high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, sucrose, maltose, cane juice. They're all disguises for the same poison. Read every label. Second, eliminate the most obvious sources: sugary drinks, sodas, industrial juices, sweetened teas, energy drinks. They're liquid poison. A single can contain more than 10 teaspoons of sugar. Replace them with water, sparkling water with lemon, or unsweetened herbal tea. This is perhaps the most powerful change you can make. Third, beware of healthy processed foods. Granola bars, flavored yogurts, smoothies, protein shakes. Many are loaded with hidden sugars. Always choose plain, natural versions and add fresh fruit yourself if needed. Fourth, swap white flour for whole grains or eliminate grains entirely. Real whole grain bread, brown rice, quinoa, or better yet, replace bread and pasta with vegetables. The fiber slows sugar absorption dramatically. Fifth, embrace real food. When your diet is based on whole foods, vegetables, proteins, healthy fats, nuts, seeds, sugar, and refined flour almost magically disappear from your plate. Breaking the chains of sugar is the most powerful act of defense for your prostate. We've covered an important journey today. We've unmasked 4 silent poisons that threaten your prostate. 4. Sedentary behavior that stagnates your pelvic circulation. 3. Painkillers, NSAIDs, that create chronic inflammation. 2. Processed meats loaded with nitrates and toxic compounds. 1. Sugar and refined flour launching a full-scale assault on your prostate from every direction. You might feel a little overwhelmed right now, but my goal isn't to scare you, it's to empower you. The truth, even when it hurts, is the only thing that allows us to make better decisions. Prostate disease doesn't have to be your destiny. Each of these poisons is within your control. You decide whether to get up from the chair. You decide whether to see a doctor before self-medicating. You decide whether to read the label. You decide whether to choose water instead of soda. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about taking one small step today and another tomorrow. Every small change is a victory. Every home-cooked meal, every walk, every glass of water instead of juice is another brick in the wall protecting your prostate. You have the power to change your health story. If this video has opened your eyes or made you think, I ask you to do something very important. Share it. Send it to a friend, a brother, a son. Life-saving information must circulate. And if you want to keep receiving clear, practical advice to protect your prostate health, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Now I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me, what surprised you the most about everything we've discussed? Is there something you didn't know before that you plan to change now? I read every comment to keep helping this community. Thank you for accompanying me. Thank you for dedicating this time to the most important thing, your health. Remember, your prostate works tirelessly for you every second. Return the favor with conscious choices. The responsibility is now yours.